Hey folks, good afternoon. Brian Halstead here, and I wanted to share some information with you today. I used to do a series from my motorcycle called Thoughts from the Road, and after upgrading my pipes on my bike, I had some difficulty being able to be heard over the pipes, and created a little bit of a challenge for my microphone. So I have not yet found a suitable solution to overcome that problem. But I still spend a lot of time on the road, oftentimes in a cage, or for you non-biker people, a car, a vehicle. But I still have thoughts, and I'm still on the road. So I thought, hey, maybe we could just change the venue a little bit. So here we are with a little bit of a relaunch, or a kind of a revitalization of the Thoughts from the Road. I don't know about y'all, but it seems to me that our country is in worse shape as far as a unified society than it's ever been in my lifetime. Now, there certainly may have been times prior to that, obviously with a civil war and so on, if you go way back, where things were worse. I certainly hope we don't end up getting to that point ever again. And at the same time, it concerns me to see all the hatred that's out there for law enforcement, and just the general division that you see in our society. I mean, all the protesting and so on that went on the day after, or the day that Trump took office, and continued the day after, and still continues in some areas today. It's interesting because a lot of those people are protesting about things that he's actually had nothing to do with. It's maybe the presidents that have been in office for several years, or even several decades prior, that may have created these problems that you're ultimately blaming on him because he's a little more vocal. Now, I don't want to get off on a tangent with Trump, because I have something really important to say on a whole nother subject, but I will say this. I voted for Trump. I voted for something different in America. And do I think, he's the end-all, be-all? Absolutely not. Do I think he's a phenomenal public speaker and presents well? Seriously? No. Do I think somebody should love him enough to, consult with him and guide him on his, whatever that thing is on his head, and maybe, do that a little differently? Yeah, absolutely. I think he needs somebody to love him enough to say he needs to fix that. But, all those things aside, I think the guy actually has his heart in the right place. I mean, if you think about it, why did he need to do this job? Why? He's got everything that he could ever need in a material aspect. Didn't need any money, didn't need anything from anybody, and he decided he wants to run for president. And I think it comes from a solid, caring, very genuine place. I think he actually wants to do good for the American public, and I think he wants to create a society that does things right again, does things great again, has respect for one another again, and puts our country first. So when I see all these people protesting things like the ban on folks coming in from certain countries, and calling it a Muslim ban, it's not a Muslim ban. It's a ban on people coming in from certain countries who have evidenced the fact that they are a breeding ground for radical Islamic terrorists that want to kill us merely because we are Americans. So banning folks from coming in from those countries, at least until you're able to further vet who they are and why they're here, doesn't really seem like that bad of a thing to me. We've gotten really lax with our immigration laws, and it's time that somebody steps up and does something about it. Other countries are not near as lax as we are. I know a friend personally that dealt with a situation trying to get into a country just a week or so ago, and he'd actually been working in this country, and unfortunately lost track of the number of days that he'd been there, and hadn't applied for certain paperwork. And when he came back to the United States for a little while, tried to go back to that country, and they flagged him, and they didn't play. They put him on an airplane after detaining him for a while and doing some investigative work to figure out if he could actually be there. They ultimately determined that he could not enter the country. So they put him back on an airplane and sent him back to the United States. So, we don't get all up in arms when other countries do it. Why are we so up in arms when our president creates or signs an executive order that is intended to make us all safer by making sure that certain folks don't get into this country? I think it's a great thing, and I applaud him. And all you people that are out there protesting this, and Chuck Schumer, his fake tears, what a bunch of nonsense. I tell you what, if you guys want something to protest, and this is actually the point of this video, it's taken me a little while to get there, but if you want to actually protest something, let's protest the fact that nobody's doing what needs to be done to overcome the huge problem that we have in America with suicides. The motorcycle club that I'm affiliated with, Strength and Honor Motorcycle Club, launched an initiative back the beginning of November of last year, 2016, called Project Overwatch, and we started a push-up challenge. The push-up challenge had actually already been out there to promote awareness for the 22 veterans every day that commit suicide. And while that's a great thing, bringing awareness to it, it really wasn't doing anything else. There's not enough resources out there potentially for these folks that are struggling or find themselves in these dark times. And so what we decided to do is launch this initiative through Project Overwatch, and it's projectoverwatch.org. And what we're doing with this push-up challenge is it's called the 22+3 American Push-Up Challenge for Suicide Prevention. And the +3 part of it is for all the other men, women, and children out there that might not be veterans, that struggle with life's challenges and might consider suicide as a solution. But here's the deal: 113 Americans every day take their own lives. And I heard just this morning that a police officer who's connected with a member of our motorcycle club took his own life. Marine, serving actively as a police officer in the civilian world. Don't know any of the stories about what was going on, but yet another one that we've lost to suicide because we probably don't have the resources that we need available to all these folks. 113 Americans a day. That's over 41,000 Americans every year that are taking their own lives. And you don't see any protests about that. Now, if President Trump decided he wanted to start, killing 113 immigrants every day, people trying to come into this country, I bet we'd be in an uproar there. But we're not doing anything to speak of nationally in a huge way to protest or impact the number of Americans that are killing themselves every day. 113. Absolutely a number that can be reduced if people are willing to step up and do something about it. So the push-up challenge is going on, but you don't have to do push-ups. You don't even have to be able to do a push-up. You don't have to like push-ups. Go to projectoverwatch.org and hit the donate button. Donate some money to this cause. And what Project Overwatch is doing with it is we're seeking out certain organizations that are actually providing resources for people to help prevent folks from getting in these dark times where they consider suicide as a solution. So all you crying liberals out there that are having a heyday with protesting President Trump and saying that you're oppressed here and you're oppressed there, and we're not letting people in, and Chuck Schumer and his cronies that are having these fake tears about all this nonsense. Step up and do something about it. Let's make a real difference in our country and reduce the number of suicides, the number of Americans that are taking their lives every day and every year. That website again is projectoverwatch.org. Get off of your freaking backside, get off the couch, grab your wallet, grab your purse, go to the computer, pull that website up, projectoverwatch.org, and hit that donate button and send some money that can actually make a difference. I think that concludes my thought from the road for today, and I plan to be doing more of these soon. Help us with this suicide prevention effort. Thank you. Have a great day.